gonna see if my microphone is a little louder. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's see if the volume's working a little bit better now. At least my microphone should be a little bit louder. That's the issue with always doing these recordings, is you can never really figure out what's a good happy medium. So all of our silage has been fermented, and I cleared out the shed down here, so we're going to be able to move some bales. I don't need to use a mod contest 6R because I built this one myself, so I like using my equipment. So, gonna move. This is gonna be our designated bale shed. I have the snow mask painted here, so that way our bales shouldn't. This already has 7.6. I don't really have a proper bale shed, so we're going to be using this for now. Probably going to get a little hairy. Could leave these bales outside, but they'll rot away on us. So once we get a few rows of bales in here, it should go a little smoother. It's kind of an awkward place to load and unload bales. Photometer. I really need to get a second monitor. It'd be so much easier. those guys will probably situate eventually. This is our only loader tractor, so I don't have a hold front loader for the 47. It's fine. And we don't have a skid loader either. Skid loaders are too sketchy in this game anyways, the handling. I'll be absolutely pissed if moving the bales inside, because there's a snow mask painted underneath my buildings. So technically they shouldn't be affected by the seasons mod. But if they do, I'll be kind of disappointed. I don't think they will, but still. If you guys watched the video I posted last night, you know that we baled out the rest of our hay and chopped it and filled our silos. There isn't much to do today except move bales. Actually, our next bales are up in these smaller hay fields up here. So this small field up here, it yielded terribly, mostly because we let the windrows kind of rot away on us. Sat out there for a couple days. Yeah, there's only 4 in this entire field. Pretty sad. are these even? Yeah, these aren't even 8,000 either. These bales behind the shed here have been sitting out for a while. Kind of curious to see what these are at. Oh, not too bad. These things, if we leave them out, they're just going to rot away on us. I'm not sure if it's going to rot completely, but I did fast forward time and I didn't set my game, and these things sitting outside, they went from 8,000 to about 4,500, which I wouldn't expect that much rotting in the bale. Maybe 10%, but not nearly 50%. I can already tell this is gonna get sketchy. I might just put these bales behind the shed with the other ones and then move them later. This is going to take forever. Unless they fixed it on the Seasons mod so the rot was reduced. At least we'll get the bales off the field. So compared to the other live streaming with iAction, is this any better or about the same? I can't really tell. I never watch the videos after I record, so I'm relying on you guys to let me know if the stream quality is any better. I'm gonna have to like mess around with it. Maybe there's a way where I can increase like the amount, like the broadband, because I don't think this is uploading. Maybe it is. I know when I recorded with iAction, it was actually uploading the video while I was recording it, so, and that kind of like reduced my internet speed a bit. ones who just subscribed. This is really cool. I like that with this OBS you can have little updates on the screen. With iAction, I don't think they have any plugins that are compatible with that yet. Figured it was about time I went over to OBS, since it seems like everyone that makes these videos uses it. Oop, where am I going? I might as well bring this back since we're already there. The issue with this farming simulator game is, like, for shadow play and stuff like that, none of the recording devices recognize it as an actual game. You have to record your screen, like your active window, which is, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of silly. So I see a lot of people asking, you know, the standard questions, so I'm not going to answer those, because I've answered them hundreds of times before. So once again, I'm just going to rely on either the individuals to figure it out or people in the chat to give them an answer. Doza subscribe. This is cool. I'm not sure how many subscribers, like new subscribers, I get on a live stream, just because I've never had a way to like measure it, but till now it's pretty cool. Get a live update. If I had any issues with the loader, no, I haven't. Although I got all the errors out of the way again, out of the log before I ever use it. So bravo with the subscribe. It's cool. The weigh-ins aren't very, you know, they're not the greatest in the world. I'm sure eventually I'm going to be rebuilding or modeling a new one, just because, you know, it's definitely one of those items you want, a nice, you know, quality piece of equipment. Robbie with the subscribe. And I never used any of them in 15 or 13 either, so I don't know how they interacted. I mean, the script, converting some of the more simple scripts are pretty easy. It's just replacing the XML with self.xml and some other minor changes. Nico. Alright, so this field was a lot better. We got a lot more tonnage out of this field. mean, compared to most state, I would say Osceola is probably one of the more beautiful locations, right along the St. Croix River. It's not the greatest for a farming simulator because the farms there aren't that great. But in terms of scenery, you really can't beat it. Although, if you were to go a little further south down to, kind of like on your way to River Falls area, it's a little bit more bluffy, hillier. That's pretty nice too. I do have a dual rear bale spear. I just don't feel like using it. I'll just run these bales back to the barn. The downside with getting a rear spear is, so this is the rear fork I made. Issue is the rear hitch is limited in how you can control it. I don't have the rear hitch set up as a mouse control. So it gets kind of hairy when you're trying to unload bales. I mean, it works. I've used it in 15. I haven't used it in 17, but it definitely could use a little bit of work. And then I also have a dual front. That works pretty good too. Let's see here. So this, I'm using this one right here, the AB13K. I also have the 14K. You can put 2 bales on the front of it. Gets a little heavy though. I usually put the rear duals. Rear duals on it. It's a little, it's weight down the back end a bit. Before I forget, I'm going to open this gate so I can sneak through here as well. Yeah, I imagine stacking bales in real life is a little easier. I've done it a little bit myself, just because these bales are all rigid collisions. They don't give. They're not squishy. Coefficient of frictions, you know, all the physics is not ideal. But if you've ever played anything before 15, FS 15, stacking bales was impossible. But in 15 they got a little bit better. It's about the same in 17. There isn't much improved. I'm pretty sure if I were to implement the MR engine onto the map and the bale and everything like that, the stacking would be superior. So I'm tempted to actually foot around with the MR engine, even though I believe it's still beta on FSUK. So I'm not going to stack these, I'm just going to set them down on the ground. In order for me to get another bales spike in duals, I'd have to drive, you know, a trailer this thing, or I don't even have a trailer that I can load this on, so I'd have to drive it down to the dealership and get all that stuff. And I don't feel like doing the 10-minute drive down there and back. I can try to, how many, 2, 4, 6. I can try to put the rest of these on the truck. Might as well. Let's drive the truck down here. Definitely just hit my truck. So I was using this gooseneck to transport my bales. Seems to work all right. I'm going to drive up the hill a bit and then angle the trailer down. That should work fine. There's always one casualty of the hill, this little guy. Stop! Can I push it? No, it rolled right through me. Too heavy. Don't mind the soybeans. I honestly think we could just back this whole trailer into the shed. As long as it's over the snow mass that's painted down, I don't think these bales will rot. So there's a pretty decent sized crowd. Notice my crowd's like doubled since I used to last time I live streamed. I was always getting like 40, and then all of a sudden now I'm getting like 80, 90, 100 plus. So pretty cool. I'm impressed. Never thought I'd have that many people watching live stream. Sure, I can fit at least 8 without even stacking them on this trailer. Because honestly, like, setting up to stream these videos is kind of a pain, but once you get it all set up and all the bugs adjusted, it's not too bad. Yeah, everyone's saying if I had a double spear it'd go a lot faster. Maybe in real life, but in this game, if you try to do too much too quickly, you start making a bigger mess for yourself than you think you're gonna do the job quicker, but you end up spending twice as much time. So in real life I agree. In this game it's best to do things on the more simplistic side, just because we're not dealing with the best physics engine in the world. It's the downside to this game is it's not a it has a long ways to go to get up to the physics engines of other games out there. Hopefully that's the next big step for this. So this truck's going to be holding about 7.7, almost 8 tons of hay on this trailer. Technically it says these bales are 1.1 tons each. The old Silverado High Country can handle that no problem. Pretty sure those are like 10,000 pound axles, if not more, on that PJ trailer. Maybe 25s. Both tandem duals. I'm actually going to push this bale in a little bit. Perfect. too bad. I've loaded better. So now we strap these things down. They're not going anywhere. So I think I'm just gonna back this into our newly designated bale shed and just leave them in there. So now that all the bales are off of our fields, we can get back to rolling our hay fields. Alright, so that's fine. Got quite a bit of hay in here already. Squatting a little bit. So we have the 8960 hooked up to our planter. Tempted to have this as my designated planting rig just because it's ridiculously huge, but I might end up just keeping a planter on the 4955. So now we can get busy rolling. That's what I'm looking for. So all of these fields here are done and separated. These need to, well, I have these finished. I just need to put the buyable field triggers around, and then the rest of this I haven't even touched yet, so long ways to go. So we need to roll 17, 20, 21, and I think we did 41, but we can also do, and we did 28, so we need to do 20, 21, and 17. So I'm planning on growing my dairy herd here, and then I'm also going to put in some hay, or some triggers where I can sell hay. I'm going to put those kind of sparkled throughout the other hobby farms around the area, the horse farms and stuff like that, that they don't do any hay production. So if I do have a surplus of hay, which looks like I do, I can go ahead and sell. Otherwise, it's just going to rot away. We're going to have close to, I think we're close to 200,000 liters in silage that's fermenting right now. And it was pretty much done with this tractor. We'll leave it there. I might as well wash it off. contractor. This guy's free. So we'll head across the road to 17, roll that thing out. I think we might have to spray some of our crops too, I'm not quite sure. Let's do one headland with course play. So I did a little bit editing to this. I kind of dimmed down the green a little bit. I washed it first of all, and then I changed the windows so the windows are a little bit more clear because that was kind of bothering me. Stroke Farmer just subscribed. And I like that feature of OBS. You can see, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with that. How long is the stream gonna be? I have no idea. Why would I know that? I usually stream for about an hour and then my internal clock says I'm bored. So you can usually bet around an hour, and so I've been going for about 50 minutes, so I'd say give or take. You know, I'll probably finish this field up and the other two and probably call it a night with the live stream. If I was in multiplayer, it might be a little longer just because it's a little more entertaining. Doing single player, it's not as fun. It's more convenient though, because you don't have to keep downloading mods and updating and uploading, so multiplayer can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Especially when you're working on new mods. They see me rolling, they hating. Such a great song, that applies to everything. Riding dirty. So, last time I loaded the save game, it was like wet and it was gonna rain. Now it's not gonna rain for 4 more days, so I feel like the weather changes every time you load a save game, so that's not cool. Thanks for the subscribe there, Michael. Alright, now we're gonna buzz on out to our other 2 small hay fields. In the game, my rollers, they just act as fertilizers, sprayers that you never have to fill up. In real life, they're used to trap in moisture and flatten, push rocks into the ground so you can run your draper. Or you could do it before you plant, so your depth is more uniform. A lot of different reasons to roll ground. How Giant scripted the in-game roller is kind of retarded in my opinion. Like, it removes field terrain, which, I mean, it's a nice feature to have, but on a land roller? Kind of bizarre. Yeah, you can fill the roller with water. I think most people fill it with some kind of liquid. I don't think there's any benefit to rolling grass in the base game, but with Seasons mod it actually increases the yield. It's just like any other crop. Usually when you use a roller, it's, I mean, it varies, and some people, I mean, it depends on what kind of crop you're planting as well. Some people do it before planting, you know, after you use your cultivator to, so the planter has a nice even depth. Some people do it after for better seed soil contact and trap in moisture. Some people roll their crop after it's kind of, you know, a little bit after post-emergence. I mean, it depends on who you talk to and what kind of reasoning they have behind it. People in rocky soils like it, especially if they're doing draper work, pushes all the rocks back into the ground. But we don't have to worry about that in Farm Sim. When it comes to simulating farming, it's not that great, or I mean, not very realistic in that aspect, but I'm using the mods off of GitHub. That's the latest developer versions of Courseplay and Seasons. You run it at the risk of, you know, it causing problems, but it usually is the most up-to-date. I don't know if it will tell me what version it is. Version 5.01, 160 developers, so I don't think it's the latest because I think there's been a couple changes the last couple days, but it's updated within the last 2 weeks, so what do I think of cattle and crops? I think it's got a long ways to go for it to be a decent competitor for this game. It's got a long ways to go just to get to beta, but I think it has a lot of potential. It's focusing on a lot of the aspects that this game doesn't. wonder if I can fit this roller through that gate. I doubt it. Huh, maybe. The 85-foot roller wouldn't fit through there. No chance. Anyways, this is pretty much all we had to do today. Don't really have much to do until crops update, then we can maybe get another thing of fertilizer in, or what have you. I'm pretty sure I got all the bales out of this because we chopped it. These things are just gonna probably rot away out here. Planted grass here hasn't popped up yet. I don't know when that's gonna happen. Hopefully it does. And then these. Anyways, guys, that's probably gonna be it for the stream. Not sure if I'll be on later or not. So thanks for watching, and make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe if you haven't already. I really need to put a different barn over here. That's kind of bugging me. This thing has no function whatsoever. Anyways, catch you next time.